So you're thinking about making a move out to Tacoma, but you haven't quite narrowed down really where you want to live yet. Well, today I'm going to walk you through one of the premier neighborhoods here in Tacoma, Oldtown, Tacoma's oldest little neighborhood. We're going to jump right inside of Google Maps and I'm going to take you through, show you all around the neighborhood and where it is in conjunction to everything, and really let you know everything you need to know about living in Old Town, and we're getting after it right now. Hey guys, Chris, myself, and our team, we're getting phone calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you looking to make their move out to Tacoma, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're looking at making your move in the next 3 days or the next 3 months, shoot us a phone call, text, or an email so we can help you make that smooth move out to Tacoma. And if you'll be the first one to know what's going on right here in the local market, smash that subscribe button so you can be the first one to know about what's happening right here in Tacoma. All right, let's head right into the map. All right, so we're checking out Old Town today, one of my favorite little neighborhoods in Tacoma, and one place that people seem to try to flock to on a regular basis. Now, as you can see, we are looking at the overall picture of Tacoma here. So you have everything from Point Defiance all the way down through University Place, wrapping around the 512 and back up I-5. Up here, you've got Browns Point, but today we're going to focus on a smaller little area, which is going to be Old Town. Old Town is this little itty bitty neighborhood right here. Now, if you're in the area, Old Town is often categorized as the area between Star Street and Carr Street. Now, as you can see, obviously Old Town stands a little bit further beyond those parameters, but that's kind of your general rule of thumb. The area is not big. In fact, it's like 0.2 square miles, but it is a very, very highly desirable area. It is a very safe community and one place where young professionals, families, and folks who are retiring all tend to be super interested in. So what we're going to do first is we're just going to look around the neighborhood a little bit, and then I'll kind of show you guys where it is in correlation to everything. So as you can see, you don't have a ton of properties here. Now, what you will notice is with these homes, you have areas like right here. These houses are gigantic. These are $1 million+ homes. And then up in here, as you go, these are more around that, that $600,000 range. And the way these homes sit is part of the appeal. Now, these houses right here, they overlook the cabin, the original cabin here for Tacoma, the first home ever. And as you go up this hill, these all have views down directly to the water. So basically, no matter how high you're going, one of the things with the homes here in Old Town is that they are all on essentially big hills, right? These hills like 29th, they go up pretty high. These are big hills, like what you would see in San Francisco type hills. At the same time, your elevation coming up also is up a big hill. So really, these homes, if they're facing this direction or have windows in this direction, they are going to have a really great view of the sound out here. And if we, zoom out just a little bit, we can see from this area, you're going to have this beautiful view of Commencement Bay. And right across, you're going to be able to see Browns Point. You're going to be able to see the lighthouse out there. So that's a beautiful sight to see. It's a big white lighthouse. So it's nice to see that in the background. One of the really cool things about Browns Point, Vashon Island, and just Point Ruston, kind of this space right here in general, is that this is where the fireworks go off on the 4th of July. So kind of in this space right here. So even from your home here in Old Town, you're going to have a really great view of the fireworks. So looking down the hill from a house you'd buy, you're going to have views of Browns Point. You're going to have views of Commencement Bay and the Sound, and you're also going to have views of Vashon Island, which is a really beautiful island. So you have a nice broad range of views, and obviously this way you have Port Tacoma. It's a little industrial. It's not really like my go-to when I think of exciting views, right? But there is something to be said for, leaving the neighborhood, coming out of the house and everything really having a view of the water. It's very beautiful. Now, a couple places in here to recognize overall. Old St. Peter's Church. This is the first church ever in Tacoma, so it's a really neat historical landmark. They do still have services there. Now, I'm not trying to recruit you to any form of religion by any means. There are plenty of churches in Washington, but it is kind of neat to see the older, historical things like that. I'm a huge history nerd. I know plenty of dads out there that are huge history nerds. So if you're a history nerd, drop history nerd in the comments for me. The Spar right here is the first saloon that was ever built in Tacoma, and it still runs today. The Spar's got really great drinks, good bar food. Again, you're close to the water, so coming out of it, when you look down McCarver Street, you're gonna have those big, pretty views of the water. So it's those things where you can either go to the Spar or Ginkgo Forest Winery. You have a drink there, and then you walk out, and it's super easy to just walk down McCarver and walk down by the water and really take in just the beautiful views that we have here. Another spot right here, you have the Car Cabin Museum. This is it's a replica, so it's not the first cabin that they rebuilt it per se, but Mr. Carr here found this area and thought it would be a fantastic place to build a life, between the water and the beautiful land. So he wasn't wrong, because this is one of the best neighborhoods in all of Tacoma, so it paid off. And next to it is Anthem Coffee here at Oldtown. Anthem is probably one of my top 5 favorite coffee shops. And if you're moving to Washington, then you're looking for good coffee. Like, it's the joke. Like, we have Starbucks like headquarters here. Everyone wants good coffee. So Anthem has got this great experience. They've got a kid in the Puyallup one named Jaeger, who's, I've been in there a few times, and by like the second or third time I was there, he started remembering my order, remembered my name. Like, they have a very good, like, family type vibe to it. So if you want to get plugged in and kind of have that feeling of community, then Oldtown really does have that. Now, as far as the rest of this little commercial district, all of this kind of through this area on 30th kind of is a little commercially space. Now, as you go up the hill more on 30th and get out of Oldtown, you're going to residential that's again overlooking primarily the water. But there is not a lot of what I would call sexy commerce down here. It's going to be a lot of lawyers, a lot of accountants. There's like an eyelash place. There is a couple of spots, obviously, to get drinks and to get food. But it's mostly kind of your strip mall-y type vibe, but with really, really cool buildings. Now, Oldtown does have the first schoolhouse note here in Tacoma, but of course, kids are not going to school at a rock. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is, well, what about the schools in these areas? And I got to tell you, I think that Oldtown is a fantastic place because of the school. So let's take a look. First of all, the elementary school primarily for Oldtown is Lowell. It's ranked as one of the best public schools in all the county. It's got an overall B plus. Only has 339 students through K through 5th. So there's a 16-to-1 ratio there, meaning your kids are getting a lot of one-on-one time, and especially at these younger ages. And if you've got young kids, they need a little bit more of the one-on-one. Finley, my 8-year-old, that kid's bouncing off the walls 24/7. If you put him in a classroom with 26 or 30 kids, I cannot fathom what these teachers go through if they have 26 or 30, kids, especially boys, as rambunctious and rowdy as they are. Now, Lowell's got good ratings across the board, high proficiencies in reading and math. Here's a good idea of where it is. So it's not technically in Oldtown. It's going to be traveling down Carr Street, and that's where you're going to hit it at. So you're going to be driving maybe 5 minutes into school. Obviously, with morning traffic, that could be a little bit worse. But living in North End, of course, is an overall A. So it's a great, great place to be. Now, on the middle school side, Mason Middle School is going to be the school that serves Oldtown. Mason is ranked number 20th for best public middle schools in all of Pierce County. Mason has an overall grade of B with a B plus in academics, great diversity. There's a really good gifted program here at Mason. So if you have a child that, really excels, then Mason is an awesome, awesome school. Now, as far as where it's located, you can kind of see here as we zoom in, it's going to be a little bit more off of Proctor. So you're a little bit further away than the other two schools, but still a pretty easy location and a short drive for you there. Now, as far as high schools for this area is going to be Stadium High School. Now, this is, yes, this is the high school from 10 Things I Hate About You. So that could be a plus for all our millennial parents. We will definitely care more about that than our kids will. I went to a tennis match out there for Bailey once, and she thought it was cool only because she watched the movie, because she has millennial parents. So you guys will probably get a kick out of that if you're in my age group. Overall is an A minus. This is one of the top 10 best public high schools in all of the county. Now they have a great diversity, high end on academics, really good college prep. They have a gifted program. Like, this is one of the top tiered schools for high schools in all of Pierce County. And they sit at a ratio of 23-1. So kids are getting a little more independent, but they do have more autonomy. So it's not quite as bad for them to have more kiddos. But we do rank here for college prep 32 out of the state. It's a very, very high end portion for living in one of the more financially conservative areas. You're not paying the $1 million house prices out here in Seattle. And of course, Stadium High School sits right in the stadium district, right by the water. So you got the stadium here with the big stadium bowl right here. And then, of course, the iconic Stadium High School. So I'll pop up a little clip right there, show you what that looks like. So it's not too far of a drive. Again, it's under about 10 minutes for you to get there in the mornings, even with people fighting and being absolutely insane during traffic times. So now, as far as living here, one of the things that I love about Oldtown is you're just down the hill from Point Ruston, which is 7 minutes up the way. Point Ruston is right here. This is where, probably one of my favorite places to hang out. Actually, Elena just got us a night at the Silver Cloud. This hotel is sick. It is absolutely beautiful. In fact, Chris and I are going tonight to meet a client up there at Copper and Salt at their restaurant to eat. They have one of the best ribeyes around. They've got incredible duck. Elena, dude, she loves the duck at Copper and Salt, so worth checking out. But Ruston Way, this road right here is, runs a little over 2 miles before, coming off of Schuster Parkway. But you're basically 2.7 miles away from being in the center of Oldtown up here to Point Ruston. So you're going to have about a 7-minute drive to get there. Now that's going to have your movie theaters, your ice cream shops. There's even the November Project that has really cool little workout classes on Wednesday that are right at the water. Overall, this is a place we just go to hang out in general. This is probably one of our biggest go-tos. Now, the North End in general is really pretty. The North End is a great area of Tacoma. So another place that I always point out is, my barber shop, Buzzards on 6th. So you're about a 7-minute drive getting down Division into 6th to hit the barber shop. There's also, Valhalla Coffee, Bluebeard's Coffee. There's a ton of shopping, a lot of bars and nightlife. Picture Sixth Avenue as kind of like your main street. So everything that you would kind of have like that main street if you're in the South or if you're in the Midwest, what's on Main Street. I'm originally from Joplin, Missouri, at a road called Range Line, and Range Line had a very similar vibe to Sixth Ave. But you're 7 minutes away from Buzzards on Sixth, where you're getting your haircut at. You're about 5 minutes if you want to head down to Puget Sound University. That's a little rough line, sorry. I will not drink and draw, I promise. But great university, absolutely beautiful campus, higher end learning there. It's beautiful. It's a stunning campus. There's so many programs. So if you have a kid that's coming out of high school and really wanting to do something awesome, then right here, University of Puget Sound is a great option for them. There's a lot of higher education. There's University of Washington, Tacoma. There's Tacoma Community College. A lot of options are in the Tacoma area for higher education. They are, really special to what you need, and we cannot steer you guys. I can't tell you what's best for you, but that's why you've got to reach out. You've got to give us a call. We know the ins and outs of all of this stuff. This is our life. This is what we do. Let us help you figure out which schools would be best for you and your family. Of course, shoot us a phone call, text, or an email to kind of kick that off. Getting into Proctor, you have the Metropolitan Market right there in Proctor. The cookie is probably one of my favorite things on the planet. It's absolutely incredible. I don't even know how to explain it. Elena and I, when we first got here, we didn't actually know that there was a Metropolitan Market in Tacoma. And we actually drove all the way up to West Seattle to get a cookie. Like, I'm not joking. We walked to the lighthouse up there and then went and got a cookie. And that was like our Saturday. It was a lot of fun. And one of the things that a lot of people end up looking for is, they really want to go shopping. They want to see some of these shopping areas. So of course you do have all kinds of options near there. But if you look, you're just about 10 minutes down to the hospital here, another hospital up here, multi-cares up here. So you have access to it within about 5 or 10 minutes. So healthcare is really, really close. You're about 15 minutes down here to the museum district if you're in bad traffic and you don't take 705. If you want to push through everything, it's probably going to take you a little bit longer. But down here, down by the Foss Waterway, you have the Washington State History Museum, you have the Museum of Glass, you have the Tacoma Art Museum, the Children's Museum of Tacoma. A lot of really cool options down there. If you're in town shopping for a house with us, there's a cool place called Stock List Goods that is kind of in this same region down here. And they have really, really amazing souvenirs around Tacoma. Now, heading out of town, let's take a look here. If we wanted to go to Seattle, we're going to come to Seattle. We're going to head out of Oldtown, probably take 5 up to Seattle. This is going to be about 53 minutes. Now, you'll see a lot of people when you research different areas, they'll find these really cool back roads to get you places. We don't really have it. I'm going to be super honest with you. So you're going to have traffic. You're going to run into this kind of stuff. It just doesn't exist. We can't expand any more out. We are so built up out here that the only way to build is actually, like I said, it's up. So, if you've been to Houston or other large cities where they have 10, 15, whatever, feeling like lane highways, we just don't have it and we're not going to have it. And that's going to be part of the struggle there. Now, if you're heading from Oldtown and you're wanting to trace around and you're going to want to hit SeaTac and go to the airport, I think you could probably get yourself there in under 30 minutes. As long as there's no crazy morning traffic or anything along those lines, I'd probably give myself 30 to 45 minutes to make that drive. Again, I really do suggest that you give yourself plenty of time. SeaTac is a harder airport to operate. So that 2 hour rule that you always hear about, I suggest you follow it when you're heading up to SeaTac. Another popular destination, especially we have military folks who are, you know, moving through the ranks. They don't want to live by the base. They're coming in and they're looking at living around Joint Base Lewis McChord. And yeah, they've looked at Spanaway, they've looked at DuPont, they've looked at Parkland, but they really love being by the water up here. Great thing about it is honestly, you can be down at the gate for JBLM in between 19 and 29 minutes. Worst case scenario, I think you're at 30 minutes to get to the gate. So you're not living in a bad area. You're not living in a more poor area. You're living in a very high end, nice community, and you can still beat the base in half an hour. That makes it really nice, especially if you have missions where you're gone for a long time. I love the safety rating of Oldtown, very low on the crime side of things. So if you're in the military and you're stuck on base for a few days in an exercise, you don't got to worry about the spouse and the kids and the dog. They're all going to be well taken care of. So I think that about wraps up the breakdown of Oldtown and kind of where it is and some of the highlights. If you guys have any questions about this area, drop them down in the comments for me. All right, well, there you have it. Everything you need to know about living in Oldtown, Tacoma. Now, whether you're looking at making your move out here the next 3 days or 3 months, shoot us that phone call or a text or even an email. We want to make sure we help you make the smoothest move down here. We know it's not just packing up boxes, it's an entire life experience. Until next time, cannot wait till you're out here so we can show you around.